right, back at Penfield Park. It's PHS and Seton Catholic. PHS will get the ball first. They won the toss, and they will receive the goal down to our right. Again, weather not a factor. See, now, your brother across the way is filming. Now, that's not public access. What is he filming for now?
Plattsburgh.com.
Plattsburgh.com. They show the game live, or?
No, it's usually it will be on the internet usually around Monday.
Oh, okay.
So he gets it on
a couple days.
Right, a couple of days late, and I don't know if it will air on public access or not. It might also air on access.
Because you tell him to try to get our best side.
Wait, let's turn around. In case he's zooming in on us right now, we should probably turn around if that's the case.
All right, we are about set to go. The Hornets are in their traveling whites with the orange helmets, orange pants, and the Knights, who will be kicking off left to right in their home greens with the white trim and the blue pants. Plattsburgh and Seton both looking for their first win. Plattsburgh a tough loser last week against Beekmantown. Seton never really were in the game last week in their opening season loss, opening game of the season loss. So
I always try to catch your picks on Friday, but I missed them earlier today. So what you have on this one?
I think Plattsburgh by about 15, 16. There aren't a lot of close games on the schedule this week. I mean,
tough one?
No, I didn't think there were too many tough ones.
You know what turned out?
I'll get most of them wrong.
You know what turned out to be the game of the week last week was that game down in Ausable Valley
27-20.
With Saranac.
Yeah, absolutely.
Although, of course, we saw a very entertaining game last week at PHS, even though it was low scoring. The Hornets were right in the thick of things.
McLean will kick off. Let's see, on the near side for PHS, deep is Connors. Middle, is that Steigers in the middle?
Yes, it is.
And I'm not sure who that is on the far side. It's light orange, numerals.
Cody Bushy, I believe.
Bushy?
Yes.
Okay. Eyes aren't as good as they once were.
I thought you were eating carrots this week to get ready for the game.
I missed my dose of carrots. All right, we are set to go. Guerin actually handles the kickoff. There it goes. Picked by Connors at the 20. Comes 25-30 out to the 35 and dragged down about close to the 34-yard line. And PHS goes on offense for the first time from their own 34-yard line.
Dustin Gardner was in on the stop for Seton Catholic in special teams. And by the way, Connors was carrying that football, kind of carrying it like a loaf of bread. They've been able to get a good hit on him. I think it might have forced the football to pop loose. He was also leading up the field with the same arm that he was carrying the ball in.
Last week, these two teams combined to throw the ball only 13 times, so if that is any indication, we're going to see a lot of ground tonight.
Could be a fast game. You might make the fireworks. Well, maybe not.
Hornets come up, and again, it's difficult to tell you what kind of formation it really is because everybody is so tight. Nobody's split. They send Bushy in motion. They give Bushy the ball. Trying to find a seam. Crosses the 40-yard line out to about the 41. Bushy for about 6 or 7.
Well, he showed good patience there, waiting for the blocks to develop, and eventually the Hornets were able to get a good push off the right side of the line, and they want to hurry up as they're right back to the line of scrimmage.
There you go, no huddle. Second down and about 4. Just across their 40. Steigers the quarterback. Again, it's Bushy, again running it to the right. But turns it back inside. He's got the first down. Steps out of a tackle. Midfield. He's trying to get to the sideline. He gets there. 30, 25, 21 man with a shot. They drag him down to about the 7-yard line. So about a 53-yard run for Bushy.
Also confusion at the line of scrimmage defensively from Seton Catholic. Bushy was again able to follow the block to the right side, then cut against the grain, coming back to the near side of the field, and nobody in sight for Seton Catholic to defend him.
Again, they will go no huddle. The ball is going to be spotted about just outside the 10-yard line, so they can get a first down. It's first down and 10 between the 10 and the 11-yard line. Steiger, the quarterback. Bushy in motion. Steiger runs to the outside. He's going to try to get to the corner. Pretty good lateral pursuit. He steps out of 1 and drags it down to about the 7 or 8-yard line. Steiger for about 3, but good lateral pursuit defensively for Seton.
Yeah, led by Garrett McLean. He's the defender for Seton Catholic that got the first hit on James Steiger. As that time Steiger tried to get the football wide to the outside of the field, and McLean with good pursuit for the Knights and then had some help.
Got 3, maybe 4. It's a second down and about 6 around the 7-yard line. They will run it back to the near side and heading easily toward the corner, and it'll be a touchdown for PHS.
Harrington.
Is it Harrington?
Yep.
But we do have a flag down back at the line of scrimmage. Harrington, nobody even got a hand on him. The flag appears that it's going to go against PHS. So take the 6 off the scoreboard. Penalty against Plattsburgh.
Flag is back at the 11-yard line, so they'll mark off the penalty from the 11.
Could be a hold. Holding call against PHS negates the touchdown run by Harrington. So second down and some 20 to go for a first down. Now Plattsburgh will go back and huddle up. Harrington is a wing on the right side. Steigers at quarterback. Gives it back to Bushy, trying to cut it back right, turns it back inside, moves the pile down inside the 15, maybe to about the 14, down even closer maybe to the original line of scrimmage, which is around the 11. So a pretty good pickup for Bushy.
Yeah, that carry gets the penalty yardage back for Plattsburgh High School. They are certainly in field goal range. We saw last week Plattsburgh High School kick a field goal from Brad Lazur.
37.
Yeah, 37 yards. And in
he kicked 37 in 1 foot.
Yeah, that's right.
Barely made it over.
Barely. And warming up earlier, he was hitting them from just inside 40 yards. So that's the distance for him.
It's third down and about 11 at about the 12. Plattsburgh over the football in their opening drive of the evening. Steigers rolls toward the left. He's looking, throws it out of the flat. It was incomplete, intended for Bushy. It's the first pass attempt.
Yeah, they had a receiver that was wide open running across the field, and he was having to throw across his body and just led the receiver a little bit too far, and the Hornets, it looks like, are going to attempt the field goal.
So they lose the 6 points on a holding call, and now Lazur coming in to try a field goal attempt, which is going to be in the neighborhood of 30 yards. Made one from 37 last week. He is set to go. About a 30-yard attempt. There's the snap. The ball is down. The kick is on its way, and it is wide to the left. No good. No field goal for PHS on a 30-yard try. And Seton will get the ball back and dodge a bullet. Plattsburgh hurt themselves with that 10-yard holding call that negated a touchdown.
That's just what we talked about right before the kickoff, trying to cut down on penalties, cut down on turnovers, and the Hornets commit a costly penalty that take 6 points off the board. They end up getting nothing, and now the Knights will get their offense out on the field for their first possession.
First possession for Seton. They'll start at about their 20-yard line. 9:42 left of the first quarter. No score. Plattsburgh had put up a 6, but it's taken away on a holding call. Seton gets the ball for the first time this evening. Bridgman is the quarterback. McLean is the deep man in the eye. Bridgman up under center. Bridgman, long count. Wants to throw the football, throws it out in the flat, being held up right at the line of scrimmage and able to get free. Looked like it's Baker. Incomplete pass by Bridgman.
Yeah, the two Seton Catholic receivers actually ran into each other as they were running their patterns. It was a cross pattern that they were trying to run down the field, and they made contact with one another and tripped each other up. So there was actually no receiver even standing when that ball sailed over their heads.
There was a bit of an element of surprise there. You don't expect to see him come out throwing the football. Second down and about 10 from their 20-yard line. They'll go wide receiver to the left, wing back to the right, still I. They go with McLean off the right side. He struggles across the 20, maybe to the 21-22. Short gain for McLean.
Yeah, they went with a quick count as well. They got up to the line of scrimmage, didn't waste much time. Quickly snapping the football and then running the ball to the right side of the line of scrimmage, and Hornets reacted well defensively, so now a third down and long for the Knights.
It's third at about 8. McLean last week throwing Bridgman last week throwing the football 2 out of 5 for 4 yards. Third down and 8 for Seton, their opening possession of the game. Knights come out, they'll send a wide receiver to the right side. McLean is the only setback. Nope, McLean is in the eye in the setback. Long count now by Bridgman. And they will try to run McLean again. Danced away from a couple, got out to about the 25, 26. Gained 3 or 4, but well short of the first down.
Yeah, he's going to be 4 or 5 yards short of the first down marker, so that sets up a 4th down and 5 for the Knights, and they'll get the punt team out.
So a 4th down and a good 5 or 6 for Seton, and they are apparently going to have to kick the football away. Plattsburgh should get the ball in pretty good shape. Seton's motioning to the sidelines that they may be short a man. Extra player now comes on. They're going to have to hurry this up. Bridgman will handle the punting. He is standing around his 15-yard line. 3 deep men for Plattsburgh. Snap is good. The kick is partially blocked. Rolls back inside to about the 5-yard line, and it'll be down around the 5-yard line. So a blocked punt gives Plattsburgh the ball inside the Seton 5-yard line.
The Hornets had 3 players that were quickly on top of the punter, and they were able to get their hands up in the air, knock it down. It was a bouncing ball back towards the Knight goal line, and there was a Hornet player that had a real good chance of picking the ball up out of the air, but couldn't handle it, ended up back on the ground. Eventually the Hornets popped on top of it, and they'll have the ball with the nose touching right on the 5-yard line, 1st and goal.
So the Hornets get the first big break of the football game. Let's see if they capitalize. 1st and goal to go at the Seton 5 after a blocked punt. And we get a timeout called by Seton. Timeout on the field. We've got 7:57 left first quarter. No score. High school football continues in hometown radio, WIRY, WIRY.com in 30 seconds. All right, back at Penfield Park, the snap on the punt to Bridgman was a pretty good snap, but they just didn't get the blocking. I mean, they came through and they had people on him because the snap was good. It wasn't a problem that he had to reach for the snap.
And he wasn't taking an extra amount of time back there.
No.
Plattsburgh just was able to bust through at the line of scrimmage, and then defensively the Knights only had 10 players on the field, and that's what led to the timeout.
So the Knights used their first time out of the ball game. Plattsburgh forcing a 1st down and goal to go at the Seton 5. Seton sends the defense back out onto the field. Plattsburgh is awaiting them already up at the line of scrimmage. Nobody split, tight formation. And Steiger goes, gave it off on the left side and in for the touchdown. Those numbers are very light.
Yes, they are. I think it's Hoing.
Was it?
Yes,
okay.
It is.
First carry of the game for Frank Hone, and he scores a touchdown for PHS.
Well, Hung was able to, of course, the Hornets last week ran with a lot of effectiveness to the right. The earlier play that was negated by the penalty, they ran left and found a lot of running room, and that time Hung again was able to run left side, and nobody touched him, I don't believe, as he walked into the end zone.
So the Hornets make the Knights pay on the block punt. Lesureur's extra point attempt is up, and it is good, so we have a timeout on the field. 7:52 first quarter, and Plattsburgh has a 7-0 lead. High school and capitalize after the block punt. They go the 5 yards in one play.
Well, the Hornets get a big play in special teams. They're able to block the punt, set up the offensive unit on the 5-yard line of the Knights, and didn't take them long, just the one play. And again, I think the Knights really trying to take away the right side of the field for the Hornets because they ran effectively there last week, and the Hornets now a couple of times have run back to the left and found success.
McLean and Bridgman are the deep men awaiting the kickoff from Lesueur. 7-0 Plattsburgh. And the boot. Bounces in front of McLean, picks up around the 18-yard line, 20, 25, 30, cuts it back 35, ran into Hornets there, and down he goes at about the 36-yard line.
McLean showing pretty good hands. That was pretty hot coming down the field, the kick was, and then on one hop, right at his face mask, and he was able to get both hands up, grab the football, and then head up the field, and the Knights with decent field position to start this second possession.
First down Knights from their 36. They trail 7-0. It was 3 and out, 3 and then the block punt on Seton their first possession. Seton moving left to right here in the middle of the first quarter. Wide receiver comes to the right. I formation. McLean on the tail. Bridgman with a long count. Dropped it, I believe. Did he get back on it? I think he may have, but they're going to lose a yard or two. He had trouble with the snap.
Well, Seton Catholic was able to fall on top of it. And let's see who's getting up from the bottom of the pile. Eventually falling on top of that ball for Seton Catholic was Mark Ryan. So he's in a good spot to find it and prevent the Knights from a second straight turnover.
Lots of about 3, second down and 13. Back now at about the 33-yard line. Bridgman comes to the sideline, gets the plays there from Gary Ryan, and then heads back out into the huddle. 2nd and long for the Knights. 7-0 Plattsburgh. 5-yard run by Frank Holm. We'll show her the point after. Seton will come wide to the right. He is the only split. Bridgman under center. McLean is the tail. They have a wing on the left side. They'll give it to McLean, looking for some place to go, but he's not going to find anything. He's going to get dragged down back around the 30-yard line. Loss of about 3 for McLean.
Well, the player that got a real good push was Devin Richards for Plattsburgh High School. Richards, coming from the middle linebacker spot, was instantly into the backfield, just sidestepped the block at the line of scrimmage and totally disrupted the timing of that run play for the Knights.
And now they are in 3rd down at about 16. Bridgman 0 for 1 throwing the football thus far. May have to put it up top here. Seton goes wide to the left. Baker is a wing to the right. Bridgman is under center. Wants to get back into the pocket, setting up a screen at the right side, but it was thrown incomplete, and probably a good thing because Plattsburgh smelled that one coming, and Connors was almost in the middle of that screen.
But again, we see the Hornets defensively really trying to commit and get a lot of pressure on the quarterback. As soon as Bridgman took the snap of the football, there were players that were just 3 or 4 yards away coming to put pressure on, and it almost looked like the ball started to slide out of his hand as he tried to throw that screen pass to the outside. As you said, even if that is a completion, the Hornets still would have been in position defensively to create what would have been a 3 or 4 yard loss on the play.
Steiger and Harrington going back. Now Connors dropping back. It is 4th down and 16. Bridgman awaiting a punt. First time he tried to get blocked. This is a high snap. He does get this kick away. It's a nice high kick. Steiger says, no, Connors grabbed it at the 39. And that's where Plattsburgh will have it. Took it on a fair catch.
Well, he did well. That was an excellent punt. Because again, the Hornets just walking through at the line of scrimmage, and he was able to get rid of that football. It was a higher snap that he had to deal with, so that took a little extra time. So a better job by Seton Catholic at the line of scrimmage, but still the Hornets were very close to blocking that one.
Plattsburgh gets it back just shy of their own 40-yard line with a 7-0 lead here in the first quarter at Fenfield Park. Seton, PHS, both looking for their first win. Hornets break the huddle, going right-left. Tight formation, which they showed most of last week. Rarely did they split anybody. Steiger, quarterback, Holm is right next to him in the backfield. And they're going to come back with Harrington. He's got some running room. 45, out to midfield, cuts it back. 45 against the green. Steps out of a tackle. He's to the 40. 35, sideline 30. To the 20, down the sidelines, and bumped out somewhere in the neighborhood of the 5-yard line. About a 55-yard run for Harrington.
Yeah, I got a real good block right at the end of the line of scrimmage that allowed for a gaping hole, allowed him to get to the near sideline, and then he went back across the field all the way to the Plattsburgh High School sideline, and taking the ball deep into Knight territory. They'll spot it at about the 10.
He did a nice job of cutting back. One Knight did get a hand on him around the 40-yard line, but he couldn't grab him down, and Harrington then had some speed, got to the outside of the sideline, brought it all the way down to about the 10-yard line, apparently just outside the 10. First down there for Plattsburgh. Hornets knocking on the door again. They will run it back to the left side, and it's going to go to the corner, and it's going to go in for a touchdown for
Connors.
Is it Connors?
Yes.
All right, Connors with a touchdown, a 10-yard run.
Well, they use the speed of Connors as he runs wide. No, it's not Connors. It's Brown, Andrew Brown.
Okay.
They used the speed of Brown as he was able to just outrace Seton Catholic defenders to the sideline and was able to go in just inside the pylon. And Plattsburgh High School quickly converts. Another 6 up on the board. They lead 13-0 with a point after try on tap.
So 2 touchdowns in the span of about 2.5 minutes. So we'll try to add the point after. Ball is down. The kick is up. The kick is good. Timeout on the field. We've got 5:13 left in the first quarter. It's now 14-0 Plattsburgh. High school football continues in hometown radio WIRY in 1 minute. All right, 14-0 14-0 PHS, and we are still a little bit past the halfway point of the first quarter and has the potential to turn ugly.
Uh-oh. Could be story time in the second half.
It has the potential. And the kickoff. McLean backing up, takes it at about the 12-yard line, out to about the 20, 25, 30, trying to bounce outside, steps out of an arm tackle, brings it out to about the 35-yard line.
A good effort from Garrett McLean, who was able to get a couple of blocks, return the ball out past the 30-yard line, and in the last 5 years were just sheer desire and fight from McLean as he was able to bring it to the 35, breaking through a couple of Plattsburgh High School tacklers.
So the Knights go on offense for the third time, 3 and a block punt first possession, 3 and a punt on the second possession. Yet to record a first down. They have it at their own 35, now down 14-0. Overton goes wide to the left. Baker is a wing on the right side. McLean is the tailback. Clark is the fullback. McLean hit in the backfield and thrown for a loss back to about the 30-yard line. Loss of about 4 or 5 for McLean.
Yeah, the push is just too strong right now from Plattsburgh High School, overwhelming Seton at the line of scrimmage. And by the time the back gets his hands on the ball, McLean has absolutely no opportunity because there's a wall of white in front of him when he gets the ball in his hands.
Make it a second down and about 15 for the Knights. Unable to get much of offense rolling here in this first quarter. Ball back now at the 35-yard line. Let me check that about the 33-yard line. Second down and around a dozen. Split backs now. Bridgman rolls right, and we had movement, I think. We got a flag coming here. Procedure, I think, coming here against Seton. Nope. Offsides Plattsburgh. An encroachment call against BHS. Their second penalty.
Knights went with a tight formation that time, split backs behind quarterback Joe Bridgman. It was a keeper as they tried to start to run him to the right when the whistle was blown for the penalty on encroachment against the Hornet defense.
So make it a second down and about 8 at around the 38. Knights down 14-0 here in the first quarter, moving left to right, or trying to move left to right. Not having a lot of success. Now back in kind of a wishbone formation. Bridgman rolls, going to keep it, tries to turn it upfield, struggle to get a yard maybe. That's about it.
Yeah, it was the same play. I think they'll give them to the 39-yard line, so it's about a half a yard. They're looking at a third down, long 6 now to convert.
Well, we've seen the spread, we've seen a wishbone. They're throwing everything out there, out of the offensive bag.
Yeah, but it comes down to Plattsburgh High School right now, just overwhelming Seton at the line of scrimmage.
Making a third down and a long 5 for Seton. 0 for 2 throwing the football. Yet to get a first down, trailing 14-0 with 2:55 remaining here in the first quarter.
Spread offense now.
Twins to each side, out of a shotgun. Clare stays back for protection. Wide side to the left. Bridgman awaits the snap. There it goes. He drops back a little further. He's going to throw it long up the middle, and it's going to be knocked away by Harrington back around the 35-yard line.
There is a flag that's back at the 26, and this could be a roughing the passer call. It is against PHS.
So the Knights are about to pick up their first down.
That was a ball that went right through the hands of the defensive back. Harrington was in good position to intercept that football, went through his hands. It would have been for naught anyways because of the roughing the passer call against PHS.
So the third penalty of the game on PHS. They're up to 40 yards in penalties, and that gives Seton their first down of the night, and it comes on a penalty. Moves the ball across midfield for the first time into Plattsburgh territory.
The Hornets brought Carpenter on a blitz. He had good pressure on the quarterback, but well picked up was Carpenter, and that allowed Bridgman just enough time to get the ball down the field, and then after releasing the ball, he was hit by a couple of PHS players, and that's what brought the flag.
And again, They're going to go twins to each side out of a shotgun. McLean is in the backfield next to Bridgman at the Plattsburgh 45-yard line. It's a direct snap to Bridgman, and he's going to pick up maybe a yard, still fighting to try to get more, and maybe wound up getting 2 on the play for Bridgman.
And it was the arms of Kyle Carpenter that he ran into early in the play, and then Carpenter just would not let him go. He was waiting for some help from one of his teammates to come and finish the runner Bridgman off, but that help never really arrived, and Bridgman was able to spin off just a little bit, pick up a couple of yards for Seton Catholic, but give credit for Carpenter in on that stop as he hung right with him the entire play.
He held on, waiting for the rest of the posse to get there.
And they were late in arriving. He ended up making the tackle by himself.
Yeah, he had to wait. Second down and 8. And again, we'll go twins to each side. Clar is the running back next to Bridgman in a shotgun. Wide side is to the left. Bridgman wants to go up top. Steps up in the pocket. Now he wants to take off. Cuts back. He's inside the 40. Fumble 39, but the ball's on the ground. Plattsburgh says they have it. Let's see. They do. Plattsburgh recovers at their own 36-yard line as Bridgman fumbles it away.
Well, Bridgman made a great play back around the Hornet 45-yard line to make one Hornet defender missed, and then as he cut the ball in the middle of the field, he ran smack dab into one of his own players, and you could hear the contact. It was helmet-to-helmet contact all the way up here in the press box, and that contact forced the ball loose, and the Hornets were eventually able to fall on top of it, so a turnover from the Knights, and PHS will have the ball at their own 37.
Minute and a half left first quarter. Hornets get it back, leading 14-0. They'll start at their own 37-yard line. They've scored on 2 of their 3 possessions. The other one was a missed field goal. Harrington comes wide to the left. They run it to the right side, out to about the 38-yard. Might have been Steiger for a yard or so.
Yep.
A short gain for Steiger, maybe a couple.
Short gain on the play, second down.
James Steiger was arguably the top performer offensively for Plattsburgh High School last week. He's a tough-nosed kid, a good football player, and picking up a couple of yards there for PHS.
Connors is now the quarterback, or was that time for PHS. Again, Harrington comes wide left. Connors again the quarterback.
Was he dressed last week? I don't remember seeing him on the field.
No. It is Steiger again trying to run right, gets to the corner. He crossed the 40 to the 45 midfield and drives it into Seton territory somewhere in the neighborhood of the 46-yard line. A gain of about 14 for Steiger and a first down for Plattsburgh.
Yeah, showed a good gear there as well. He was able to bounce the ball outside, race up the sideline, and the Hornets are marching into Seton territory, actually just inside midfield. They'll spot it at the Knight 49.
First down for the Hornets, just across midfield, Seton 49. We are in the closing 22 seconds of the first quarter, and the clock is running. Plattsburgh out of their huddle, but no hurry to get to the football. Stroll to the line of scrimmage. Harrington comes wide to the left. Connors gets up under center. Wants to roll to his left. Looking downfield, throws it out in the flat to home. He has it at the 40, gets it by a tackler, 35-30, down the sidelines. He is going to go. Touchdown, PHS. 49-yard touchdown pass, but there is a hanking.
I thought that was a good block, but they threw a flag on the block that really sprang him loose down the sideline. But the flag is back at the 41-yard line, and it will be against Plattsburgh High School. That's going to come back.
A 49-yard touchdown pass from Connors to home, called back. On a block back at the 41-yard line of PHS. And a play that looked like it was only going to gain maybe 5-10 yards, but he was able to step away from a tackler, get to the outside, and then he went untouched all the way down the sideline. We get a block in the back called on PHS. You didn't think so?
I know it was a good block. It happened right in front of us.
They're going to mark it, take the call from the Seton 40, so it's going to come back out to the 50-yard line. And the Hornets have been hurt with penalties. This is the second touchdown that they have lost on a penalty. And they're at 40 yards in penalties in the first quarter. That's the end of the first quarter. After one, PHS leads Seton 14-0. High school football continues at Hometown Radio, WIRY, WIRY.com. 1 minute. First 12 minutes are in the books. Plattsburgh leads it by a score of 14-0. A Hong 5-yard run, a Brown 10-yard run. Lazur with 2-point afters. The Hornets have lost 2 touchdowns on penalties. A hold and then a block in the back. A 5-yard run in the first quarter that wound up with a field goal try that was no good, and now they just lost about a 50-yard touchdown pass completion and run. And we go to the second quarter with the Hornets having the ball at their own, just shy of midfield. First down.
Connors dumped that ball off, but had he tucked that football away, I think he probably could have run to the end zone as well with the blockers out.
I thought at first he was going to be run all the way. First down PHS, now turned around, going left-right. Connors is the quarterback. Harrington comes wide left. Connors wants to go up top, looking, throwing it long up the field for Harrington. And overthrown. Harrington got turned around and could not come up with the catch.
Yeah, he got twisted. He was open. If he's able to lead him a little bit more down the field towards the flag, I think that's a ball that he's going to be able to run underneath because he was well behind the defense.
Do you have the write-up when the newspaper had the write-up of all the teams?
Yes.
Try Plattsburgh. Is it Connors the kid that transferred here from someplace? I don't know why I'm thinking that. I'm probably absolutely wrong. Seems like they...
All right, you describe the play. I'll look it up.
Join me later. Second down and 10 from midfield.
No.
He's not? Okay.
Dustin Laundrie.
Okay.
Was a kid from Texas.
I knew there was some transfer. Second down and 10 from midfield for PHS. Connors gets up under center. Give the ball to Bushy. Cuts it back. Finds a seam. Crosses the 50 down to about the 45. Or was that
Steiger? It was Steiger.
It was Steiger. Steiger with the carry.
Yeah,
they need brighter numbers.
Seton got a good push taking away the outside from Steiger. That's where the Hornets wanted that play to go, and he made a good cutback into the middle of the field, picking up positive yardage as the Hornets are now looking at a 3rd down 7. I'm impressed that actually you remembered something about a transfer. There's just so many articles that you want to read through them and to pick that out. That's pretty good on your part.
I remembered something about a transfer. And Texas, of course, is a hotbed for high school football. And I just didn't know if maybe he was the one that transferred. 3rd down, 6-7 to go. Home the only back in behind Connors. They got wings to each side. Connors rolls to his left, steps up, throws it long up the middle, overthrown. Intended for Harrington down around the 25-yard line.
I think he certainly gives them that added pass dimension that
we did. Or throw.
Yeah, and obviously in the last couple of plays he's demonstrated he's got a pretty good arm getting that ball down the field. It's like the Hornets now looking at 4th down 7 are going to go for it.
Not quite sure about this one.
Well, confident offensively and confident defensively, I would say.
Midfield, I'm not sure I would go along and see. As you can see, I already had written down the word punt.
That's not punt. That's potatoes. That's your shopping list.
4th down and some 6 or 7 at the Seton 45-yard line. Connors wants to go to the sky. Looking for Steigers out in the flat and incomplete. In fact, Knight might have got a piece of it as it floated out there. Well, they should have punted. Instead of punting, I'll write down downs, which is going to look like donuts.
Yeah, that pass was underthrown. I'm not sure the defender who did go up in the air was able to get a hand on it.
I couldn't tell.
And if he can get that ball to Steiger had to break his momentum, so he was flat-footed. Had he made the catch, he still would have had quite a bit of work to do to turn and then get to the 1st down marker, but he had a little bit of a cushion to try to get there, but it goes for naught with a pass incompletion, and let's see if the Knights can make something positive happen here, get momentum. Look, a big play. They're right back in this football game.
Well, by far their best field position. They're out at their 45-yard line to start the drive. They'll again go twins to each side of a shotgun. McLean stays in the backfield next to Bridgman. Wide side is to the right. McLean, it's straight run to the left. He's trying to get to the corner, and he does not get there. He's going to lose a yard, maybe 2. Steigers came up quickly, made the stop.
Yeah, Bachowski did a good job getting up the field as well for Plattsburgh High School. That forced the football back in the middle of the field, and there was help from Steiger coming up to trip up Bridgman. But the Knights seem to be more comfortable in the spread offense. It certainly has taken away some of that pressure that Plattsburgh High School was throwing at them right through the middle of the field when they had a bunch formation.
Well, you've spread them out now because they have to honor the twins going to each side. But they've got to throw it a couple times to really make him honor it, because so far they've gone in that formation. I'm not sure he's thrown it. He's run each time with it. 2nd down and maybe a dozen back at their 44-yard line. Again, twins to each side. Bridgman out of a shotgun, looking, waits the snap, and gives the ball to Clark, and he is going to lose a yard, maybe a couple on the play.
And he's wrapped up back at the 41-yard line, 42-yard line is where they're going to spot it. Again, Plattsburgh High School was able to get up the field, and it was Clark on the carries, and
Yeah,
I think he's over. Was it?
33.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one.
There's two of them.
Yep, you're right.
Yep. Matt Clark, I believe, 33.
Yep.
Third down and about Baker's dozen for Seton, back around their 42, trailing 14-0, with 9:24 remaining in the first half. Here's Bowden wide to the left. He will be the only split this time. Bridgman to go under center. McLean's the deep man in the eye. Clark's the fullback. We have a wing on the right side, which is Baker. Bridgman under center, wants to throw the football, getting pressured, rolls to his right. Looking downfield, still looking. Waited too long. They're going to drop him for a sizable loss of about 12 or 13 yards.
Sacks on the play.
Jake Richards was able to get up the field quickly for PHS. There was a blocker there who tried to slow down his progress. He ran him over, and it forced Bridgman to take off towards the sideline. Plattsburgh High School doing a good job in coverage defensively, and it leads to a pretty significant loss in the play for the Knights, who will now have to punt.
Easy to say from up here, but I kept waiting for him just to throw the ball down the sideline and get rid of it, because he's obviously going to be pressured and drop for a loss, but he kept holding on, trying to find something. Now Bridgman will have to punt. He's standing just inside his 19-yard line. Snap is there. Here is the kick. It's a high kick. I don't know if Hornet got a piece of it or not. It hits around the 39, rolls back, and is touched at about the 38-yard line. So it's going to go as a very short punt. Plattsburgh is going to get to play with a very short field.
But again, though, there was just a jailbreak at the line of scrimmage. It was a high snap that he went up to handle, and he was trying to buy a little extra time to get the ball down the field, but there were 5 white jerseys that were coming after the punter. And I think you're probably right. Somebody likely got their hand on the football the way that ball reacted.
And we're going to get a timeout called here by Seton. Timeout on the field. We've got 8:11 left in the half. 14-0 Plattsburgh. High school football continues in Hometown Radio, WIRY, in 1 minute.
See the other kid mentioned in there anywhere.
All right, Hornets will get the benefit of a short field. They'll take it at the Seton 38-yard line. First down, Harrington goes wide to the left. Bushy is a wing to the right. Connors is under center. Hogue and Steigers out in the backfield. And it'll be home. Straight ahead is a seam. Crosses the 40, drags him across the 35, down inside the 30 to about the 28-yard line. And a first down, about 11-yard run.
Well, tough running from Frank Hong right through the middle. He was able to drag Bridgman, who works in the secondary for Seton Catholic, drag him the last 2 or 3 yards as they move the chains on the far side.
And they spot it down around the 27-yard line.
That last timeout that was taken by the Knights, should have mentioned they had 12 players on the field when they called that timeout.
First timeout because they didn't have enough. Second timeout because they had too many. And Bushy, I believe, tries the middle. Short gain down to about the 25, maybe a couple on the play.
Waiting for the runner to... Yeah, that was Hong again.
Was it?
Yep, Hong on the carry. And a nice play defensively by Seton Catholic's Mark Ryan. He was able to wrap him up down around the ankles and bring him down to the ground.
Second down and 8. Nose of the ball touching the Seton 25-yard line. Hornets driving, leading 14-0. Stahlsmith in the ball game is wide to the left. Bushy's a wing to the right side. Connors is under center. And goes with Steiger, trying to bounce it to the outside. Gets to the corner, turns the corner, steps out of a tackle, gets it down to about the 20-yard line, making it maybe the 19. And a gain of about 6 or 7 for Steigers.
Well, Bridgman had a shot at him, but he was able to elude that tackle, and it's now a 3rd and short for PHS as Steiger with good work up the right sideline.
He's got a good explosion. He's got that good step when he gets to the outside. He can turn it up quickly.
Yeah, and the versatility that he brings is he can get the tough yardage for you, too. Put his head down and run somebody over.
It's third, and we'll call it a yard at the 20, just inside the Seton 20-yard line. Stahlsmith is going to come wide to the right, which is the short side. Bushy split to the left. Connors waiting for everybody to get set. Third and about 1. Steigers runs left, trying to bounce it outside, turned it back inside, and struggles forward and is close to the first down. He was trapped in the backfield momentarily and then kind of found a little seam, dove up and is close to the first down inside the 20-yard line, and they're going to say he is not there. It is a fourth down and still about a yard.
Well, not much after picking up the football. That play looked like it was doomed to lose 2 or 3 yards, but he was able to fight to get it into about a 1-yard pickup for PHS, and now looking at fourth down and less than a yard.
Play comes in from the sideline for PHS, leading 14-0. They are inside the Seton 20-yard line, 4th and 1.
Haven't seen the old freight train play yet.
No, they haven't run
the running back.
12 yards back. They're saving him up for the second half. Connors under center. Hong has the first down and then some, and he takes it down to about the 15-yard line. Pick up about 4 or 5 for Hong and a first down for Plattsburgh.
Good job by the left side of the Hornet offensive line. A quick hole that opened up for Frank Hong, and he was able to step through, easily picking up the yardage that they needed, and the Hornets will maintain possession of the ball.
First down just outside the Seton 15-yard line. Plattsburgh driving after a short punt, trying to increase their 14-point lead. Sal Smith goes wide to the left. Navarre is tight to the right. Bushy's a wing to the right. Connors wants to throw the football. Looking, throws it over the middle, and was it picked off?
Yes.
McLean? Yes, picked off by McLean back around the 7 or 8 yard line. But we do have a flag also upfield.
Yeah, it's roughing the passer against Seton Catholic. So the Hornets will end up maintaining possession of the football because it's a roughing passer the call against Seton.
The throw was nowhere near the receiver. He was
way behind him.
It was well behind him. And McLean picked it off, but it's going to be the first penalty of the game, I think, against Seton. That's their first penalty. And it will be a big one, costing them a possession on a turnover.
So we've seen the Hornets take points off the board with penalties earlier in the game. Now Seton Catholic giving the football back to PHS after roughing the passer call against their defense.
So they're about to mark off the penalty, which...
Ready, wake up.
should move it down to around where you get picked it off. Actually, it's going to move it down to around the 10-yard line.
Yep. Inside the 10.
About the 8.
So it'll be first and goal for the Hornets. Knocking on the door again, leading by 14, looking to extend.
Connors brings them up. The ball is on the ground. I think Plattsburgh may have got it back, but we'll wait and see.
They did.
Plattsburgh does recover out around the 10-yard line. And we get an official's timeout here.
Nope, Hornets are taking a timeout.
Okay, timeout PHS. Timeout on the field, 5:07 and a half, 14-0 Plattsburgh. High school football continues on Hometown Radio WIRY in 30 seconds. The ball is at about the 12-yard line.
Yep, 11-12.
Of Seton Catholic. It is a second down.
I think the Hornets are going to change up their formation. When they use Connors at the quarterback spot, more conventional, they put him under center. Last week when we saw Steiger working out of the quarterback spot, it was a direct snap to him with that tight formation. I think that they're going to go back to that now.
So it'll be a second down and goal to go. First time out of the game used by PHS. Steiger's the quarterback, Hogue right next to him out of a kind of a spread, but a shallow spread. And they will run it up the middle with Hogue. Hogue bangs away, steps out of a tackle, walks into the end zone from 12 yards out. Touchdown, PHS.
Well, it's a direct snap that goes right to Hogue. I believe it went right to Hogue. Steiger faking the handoff, and I think the misdirection fools Seton Catholic defensively. And Hogue found a lot of running room, was able to race to the left side of the end zone, and the Hornets now lead 20-0.
Second touchdown of the evening for Hogue. Missouri with a point after attempt. It is up and they got blocked at the line of scrimmage.
Well, the snap just floated into the holder, and it took so long for the snap to get back there that it gave Seton Catholic a real good opportunity to get up the field and block the point after try.
So a 7-play, 38-yard drive for Plattsburgh. Home goes the final 11 for the touchdown. The Hornets have increased their lead to 20-0. With 5 minutes remaining in the first half. And the Hornets have controlled this football game throughout the first half. Mostly, actually all through the air. They don't have a pass completion, so everything they've done is through on the ground. Missouri getting set to kick off again for Plattsburgh.
But that's the wrinkle now that PHS, as they get more comfortable with this offense, they have personnel that can give the opposition different looks. When Connors was under center, I think they had a little bit more of a passing threat that the Knights defensively had to respect. And then you bring out Steiger and Hung, and that combination in the backfield, certainly a much more run-oriented offense, and it makes the defense think and adjust and have to read and react to what PHS is trying to do offensively.
PHS goes to Gouverneur next Saturday. Seton travels to Saranac Lake next Saturday. Out of the old frying pan. And
oh, boy.
Missouri set to kick off left to right. There is the boot. Bridgman takes it around the 9-yard line. Goes across the 20. Slips down at about the 25, 27-yard line. It's hard to make a cut. Feet went out from under him.
As the temperatures drop, and it's still very comfortable watching the football game tonight, but it's supposed to go down through the 50s into the upper 40s tonight, so you get some dew on the field, and the feet went right out from underneath them.
For our first mosquito.
Well, those 40-degree temperatures that are on the way should take care of the most recent batch.
First down for the Knights from their 27. They have only one first down, and that came by a penalty. Roughing the passer call on PHS. They have not earned a first down here in the first half. You're looking to see how many they had last week. Is that what you're looking at?
Well, I will look that up, but
sure they keep that stat.
They scored 6 points last week in the first quarter, gave up 37 in the first half to Canton. So defensively, they're a little bit ahead of the game where they were last week, but offensively, they haven't put any points up yet.
High formation. McLean gets the ball in the backfield. He got wrapped up.
And the ball's loose.
And the ball came out on the ground, but Seton got it back at about the 25-yard line. It's going to be a loss of a couple on the play.
Looks like Mike Riley was able to recover the football for Seton Catholic.
By my unofficial count, Seton is minus 10 yards here in the first half.
Now, what was the other? First down? I'm not sure that they don't keep track of that. No.
Second down and about a dozen now for the Knights back at their 25-yard line. Have nothing through the air and minus 10 running. Bowden goes wide to the right. Baker is a wing to the left side. Bridgman will go under center. High formation. McLean the tailback. They pitch it to McLean, trying to come to the near side. Good pursuit. They bring him down to the 24-yard line. Steiger came up quickly and dropped him for a gain after 1 yard.
Perfect execution defensively from the Hornets. Steiger reading that well, showing the foot speed as he is able to take away the space from the runner, get down low, and take the feet right out from underneath the back, Garrett McLean. Third down and some 13 to go. Haul it back inside the 25-yard line. Seton down 14-0. 3:25 remaining in the first half. Did I say 14? It's 20-0. Bowden goes wide right. Baker wing to the left. Wide side is the right. Bridgman goes under center. Gives it to McLean, hit in the backfield and thrown for a loss back to about the 21-yard line. McLean loses about 3. I think it was Navard who was right there for Plattsburgh High School. Made a nice play. They ran the football right into his arms, and he was able to wrap him up and throw him down. Punting situation, and it's been a challenge for Seton. The first one got blocked. At least they're getting a lot of practice on it, but the biggest problem is they've had trouble keeping penetration by Plattsburgh coming into block. You're one of those defensive linemen. You're licking your chops. Yeah, the snaps have been good.
Bridgman waiting. Snap is okay. Here they come. He does get it away. It hits around the 40, bounces across the 45, crosses midfield, and Seton will down it at about the 47-yard line of PHS.
A good job to get that ball off as the Hornets are going for max pressure on the punter. They're not trying to set up any type of return. There was really nobody back to block for Steiger.
It was like a jailbreak. Everybody except Steiger came in after it.
Smelling blood and going after it.
Hornets will start around their 46-yard line with a 20-0 lead. 2:18 remaining in the half. Hornets have scored on 3 of their 5 previous drives. First down from their 46. Steiger rolls toward his left, trying to get to the corner, turns it up, crosses midfield. He's to the 50, to the 45, down to the Seton 40-yard line. It's about 13 or 14 and a first down for PHS.
John Schoonmaker on the stop for Seton Catholic. Good pursuit across the field, but not until the Hornets easily pick up the first down.
They'll go without a huddle, which is how they played their first possession of the game. He went no huddle. Tight formation. Harrington starts in motion. Steiger, the quarterback now, lofts it up the left side, intended for Bushy, and it is a catch, a nice catch, down around the 15-yard line. At a 25-yard completion.
Nobody went with him from the line of scrimmage. He broke free down the field. Seton Catholic thinking that it would be another running play, wide open to the far sideline, and had that ball been put out in front of him a little bit, that's a ball he would have been able to run underneath and get well down the field.
First down at the Seton, about the Seton 15-yard line. Hornets driving for more, up 20-0. Steiger and Hong back. Bushy quarterback. Give to Steiger, trying to come to the near side, to the corner, around the corner. He's at the 15, he's to the 10, and he's knocked out around the 5-yard line. Apparently just shy of the 5, so it's going to be about an 8 or 9-yard pickup for Steiger.
Well, it showed a good change of pace as he faked inside and slowed his momentum down, then went right back to the Jets trying to get outside. I thought initially there was good room on the outside, and there is an official's timeout. Looks like they're going to have a measurement. But I thought at first if he had just kept moving and powering to the outside that there would have been some running room, but put on a change of pace and it ended up working for him to the outside.
I like his speed. I mean, he just be able to shift quickly into another gear. Chains are going to have to come all the way across the field. I thought the line of scrimmage was at 15, but maybe it was inside that.
It's got it. Looks like. No?
No.
Just shy.
Just shy. So second down and inches. In the neighborhood of the 6-7 yard line.
And this is a good position for the Hornets if they want to get creative here. Looking at, they got 1:21 on the clock, second down and short. Ball that they could put up in the air if they wanted to.
I'm not sure the need is there.
You're right.
I mean, they've had so much success just running the ball. Why stop doing it now?
Sometimes you can outthink yourself.
You're right. They outthink themselves. Steiger, quarterback. Bushy in motion. Steiger follows him off the right side, turns it back inside, and is taken down maybe in the 2-yard line maybe. Has the first down. Down around the 2, pickup of 3 or 4.
Yeah, they'll stop the clock as they move the chains on the far side and get the football set. 1:15 showing on the clock. Looks like it's about the 3-yard line, so the Hornets will have it first and goal from the 3.
First down, goal to go. Plattsburgh uses their second timeout. They still have 1 remaining. Trying to finish off a 51-yard drive here at the Seton 3-yard line. I'm not sure. Did they use a timeout? I'm not even.
Well, I don't think they did. Steiger was slow going off the field. They're
right.
checking on him on the sideline.
Lazure is now the quarterback. And we we got whistles right off the snap, which is probably a procedure, although it could have been an encroachment. We'll see. It is procedure Plattsburgh.
Steiger just took his gloves off, and he's sitting on the Plattsburgh High School bench.
They're at 45 yards in penalties. They had a lot of penalties last week. They've had 2 penalties that have cost them touchdowns. Ball is moved back to about the 10-yard line. Clock is running with 50 seconds remaining. Lazur now the quarterback. Holm, the lone running back. Wings to each side, Bushy and Harrington. They fumble. No, they didn't. Hogue has the football. They did fumble, but Hogue picks it up and gets thrown for a loss back to the 15-yard line.
Since Steiger has disappeared from the lineup, it has been a couple of, they had the penalty on the motion penalty against the Hornets, and then a botch play on offense. They're going to take a timeout now, looking at second down and goal to go from back at the 15.
That is their second timeout. Comes with 33.3 seconds remaining in the half. So they still have one more timeout remaining.
Now where they are in the field, I almost think about getting Connors back out there in the quarterback spot because he can sling it.
A play or two before that, Steiger's, I'm not sure if that was when he made that run, almost picked up the first down. He got up and he started to walk back to the huddle, and then he took a knee about 10 feet or so away from the huddle, and then he just kind of was twisting his back around, and he got up and went back into the huddle, but I don't know if that's where he got hurt. He would be a major loss for Plattsburgh offensively.
Yeah, he's just sitting on the sideline. They're not tending to him, so hopefully nothing too serious, and the fact that it's late in the half just giving him a little bit of a break.
Yep. You're right. I agree. I think it should be good to bring Connors back in as your quarterback.
Because they have not been smooth. They've only run one play, but they tried to run two, and they had a penalty on that other attempt.
Lazur is the quarterback. Lazur rolls left. He's going to throw it out and then bat it up in the air, and then grabbed, I think, by one to the line.
Yes.
It got blocked into the hands of one of the linemen. Hornets will now use their timeout, their last timeout.
Sean Shea was the lineman that was able to receive the football for PHS, and Mike Bordeaux was out on the field again and talked to the offensive unit for the Hornets.
I'm guessing it might be Shea's first and only catch of the year.
Maybe in his career.
Could be.
But shows excellent coordination and reaction. You're not used to, as a lineman, being able to find a football in the air. You're often doing your work a little bit closer to the ground, but to look up and find it and say, oh, what's that? Coming right at me.
What is that thing?
The hands were quick enough to snag it.
So it's third down, goal to go, but the clock is not an ally for Plattsburgh at 23.6. They've just used their last timeout. They're coming in a tight formation here. Lazur quarterback. A little more of a spread. Lazur rolls right. He's under pressure. They're going to drop him back out around the 26-yard line.
Well, Mike Riley just raced past the block from Plattsburgh High School. There was a block that was totally missed by PHS offensively, and Riley was able to get pressure, and now the Hornets are looking at 4th and long, and they're going to try to run one last play.
If they can get it off, and they will, this will be the final play. Lazur rolls right. He's going to throw it up the middle, and it'll go incomplete.
That's incomplete.
So the Knights hold them, take over on downs, and that will be the final play of the first half. So all right, we're ready for the second half. Plattsburgh will kick off with a 22-0 lead and a 279 to -12 advantage in yardage. So from that, you would think it only could get better from Seton. Yeah, fireworks are unlikely.
Okay. No, I don't think you're going to make it. How about any of the other festivities? You're going to be able to try to get over this? You got the game tomorrow.
I love the parade. I never make the parade.
Yeah.
Most likely I have a football game. We might go downtown Sunday. I don't know.
Screwed up.
But we get through my to-do list. All right, there is the kickoff, and Bridgman awaits, has it, and drifts back to about the 5-yard line, across the 10, to the 15, to the 20, 25, out to about the 25, and that's about where he's going to land, around the 25-yard line.
Well, a solid return, a real good kick down the field. Bridgman caught the ball above his helmet, and he caught it inside the 10-yard line. So a good kickoff from the Hornets that was deep down the field. And Bridgman was able to work hard to get back to the 25, and that's where the Knights have it.
Only one first down in the first half for Seton. That came by a penalty. They'll start from their 25-yard line. They will go twins to each side out of a shotgun. McLean stops, stays in for protection for Bridgman. Wide side is to the left. Bridgman takes the step and runs straight ahead and doesn't run far. Maybe a yard out to the 26.
Nice job defensively by the Hornets to stack up the line. No hole ever developing.
You're right. I think they've done better since they've gone out of a spread. And this, of course, that sounds silly when you've got minus 12 yards, but the problem with it, they're out of the spread, but they're never throwing it. He's always just running with it, so they don't really have to honor the wideouts to each side. You've got to start throwing it a little, mix it in.
And it's been single coverage throughout for the Hornets, and they're really cheating. The inside defensive backs are really cheating towards the line of scrimmage so that there's room to get the ball. If they could get the ball to the outside receiver, there's room out there because the Hornets are really still playing the run.
And again, we're going to go twins to each side. McLean stays for protection. Bridgman awaits snap from center. Drops straight back. Under pressure. He's going to get dropped for a big loss back around the 5-yard line. Loss of about 20 on the play for Bridgman.
The way he was tackled, the defender for PHS, his weight ended up falling right on top of Bridgman as he was going down to the ground. And Bridgman's right leg ended up underneath the Hornet defender, and he kind of fell back on his rear end towards the defender with his back going down towards the ground, and his knee was still pinned underneath the defender, so he is not to his feet yet.
He has to come out of the game for at least one play. And he is going to go right over to the bench and get a drink and try to walk it off. A huge loss, so puts him at third down and about 30. McLean is now the quarterback. Son, you're going in there at 3rd and 30. See what you can do. He's going to try to run along the line of scrimmage and turn it upfield. He does for 3 or 4 yards. He's going to bring up a 4th down and long.
14 on the play.
And a punting situation. Those have been adventures for Seton. They've only had one that was really blocked, but every one Plattsburgh has come very close. Plattsburgh is not really playing run back. They're sending 8-9 guys after the kicker. Bridgman back in. He is the kicker, and he comes back into the ball game. Hornets again should get the ball in excellent condition. They dropped 3 men deep. Bridgman standing somewhere in the neighborhood of the 3-4 yard line. There's the snap. He'll get a line drive kick bounding downfield and up into the air, picked up at the 45-yard line, back to the 40, 35.
It is Steiger, yeah.
Steiger's coming back.
Yep.
Steiger runs it back to about the 26-yard line and returns it about 20 yards. Well,
good to see him back in the football game as well for PHS. The way he went to the sideline at the end of the first half, we were in doubt that he would return, but he's back deep for the Hornets, and a nice return. PHS will have it outside their own, outside the night 25.
You think he might have snuck on the field because Mark Donnelly went up to see how the injured kid? Did Mark know the guy snuck out there to return a kick?
And again, we'll mention in the first half that it was Trey Bucci who was at the quarterback spot for the Hornets when he would come into that passing situation. They utilized him, and running the football was Connors, who's wearing number 8 in the game tonight.
Hey, here we go.
The freight train.
I told you they were saving it for the second
Warming
half.
up the diesel.
Steigers is about 15 yards off the line of scrimmage. Bushy's under center. They pitch it back. He can't handle it. It is loose. And it is recovered back at the 35-yard line. I think Steiger's got back on it, but it's going to be a loss of about 9 in the play.
It was Bushy who recovered the fumble.
Okay.
Cody Bushy fell on top of it for PHS. It was a tough pitch to handle. It was a little high in the air, and Steiger got a hand on it, but he wasn't able to field the ball cleanly, and fortunately for PHS, Bushy was there to fall on it.
Like one of those offense you see where you expect the quarterback is going to take a knee, and one of the back, just for protection, draws back about 15 yards downfield.
Oh, they put it away.
It's like the prevent offense. Bushy under center. More conventional lineup. Cotters turns it back inside the 35, brings it down to about the 30. You got about 8 on the play.
Running to the left side, Tevin Connors showing pretty good speed. Hornets looking at a 3rd and long now.
3rd down and about 13 or so at the 30-yard line of Seton. 20-0 Plattsburgh in the 3rd quarter. Connors will be a wing to the right. Steiger will be a wing to the left. Bushy is under center. And confusion on the handoff, and now Steiger gets the ball, but he's going to get thrown for a loss of a couple.
Well, they fooled themselves in the backfield. A couple of Hornets ended up running into one another.
It's kind of like an old Three Stooges. So everybody just runs into each other.
And the Hornets
Timeout called here by PHS. So we got a timeout on the field. We've got 6:10 remaining in the 3rd. It's 20-0 Plattsburgh.
That's
4th and 15. What are you taking the timeout?
Well, that's because they're going to go for it here. I would bet, looking at they're ahead by 20. Looking
I'm
at
not
4th down and
questioning
15.
going for it necessarily. I just think it's an odd place to take a timeout. 4th and 15 at about the, where are they, 32-yard line, roughly, Seton? I don't know. Mikowski's in the backfield as a running back now. Bushy is under center, wings to each side. Bushy gets under center, rolls back, rolls toward his left, sets up, throws it up the field, and it is batted down, incomplete. Was that Bushy that threw the ball?
It was. He's a southpaw.
Where have I been? I never noticed that he was a southpaw.
Well, I think it's the first time we've seen him throw it. That's why.
Well, this is true. But I thought I saw him throw it last week, and I didn't remember him being left-handed.
Yeah, that would be extra talented if he were ambidextrous throwing the ball down the field. But on a good play defensively, Seton Catholic, Garrett McLean was in single coverage down the field. He was able to step up, knock the ball down to the ground, and the Hornets turn it over on downs. Knights get the football back for their offense. They'll start at their own 32-yard line.
32-ish. Still haven't got a first down that they've earned. Break the huddle and send a wide out Bowden to the right, and that's the only split. They have a wing on the left side. They are out of a shot. Oh, they're under an eye. They're an eye form. And they go with McLean. He'll try to bounce it to the outside, turns it back inside. Now trying to come back outside. He gets bet back at about the 34, pick up a couple.
You know, I forgot to commend you for that Three Stooges reference. Anytime you can work a Three Stooges reference into a sporting event, well done.
Oh, I originally was going to go with a Keystone Cops. Then I'd go Three Stooges. Some people might not know who the Keystone Cops were. Everybody knows who the Three Stooges.
Instantly provokes a smile on any male face.
Oh, absolutely.
Women don't understand the Three Stooges.
No.
They just find it, that's just stupid. But men, they instantly get it. That old slapstick comedy always works. So we're simple.
2nd down and 8. Now we'll go twins to each side again. Bridgman has McLean back there for protection. 2nd down and 8. Wide side right. Run the ball with McLean. Across the 35 into the 40, out to about the 44-yard line. A gain of about 8 or 9, first down.
That's right.
That'll be their first down that they have earned.
There it is. Successful running play for the Knights. They'll pick up the first down yardage. And there's 4:25 to go in the 3rd quarter, and they get their first offensive first down that isn't by way of a PHS penalty.
First down, they have not moved the ball across. They've been across midfield one time because of a short punt or something, it seems to me, but they have not moved the ball offensively. across midfield. They're at about their 43 right now. Twins to each side out of a spread. Bridgman awaits the snap. And it's runs, and he goes out to, good wrap at the 44. Maybe a 1-yard pickup by Bridgman. He got wrapped up good.
And the defender who made the hit for PHS is still on the field. Bridgman is back to his feet and coming over the sideline, but the Hornet who made the hit is just getting to his feet. Is that Steiger again? Yep.
I think you got to get him out of it.
Yeah, you get games to play next week, and this game's pretty well in hand.
I'm not sure why you'd risk an injury to him.
And I don't think I think it's an ankle.
Yeah.
You know, the way he's hobbling to the sideline. It wasn't a head injury as we were discussing perhaps at the half, but he looks like an ankle injury as he goes back to the sideline.
Second down and about 10 from their 44-yard line. Twins again to each side. Wide side right. McLean for protection out of a shotgun for Bridgman. Bridgman runs right away and lost the football. It's on the ground. I think McLean may have fallen on it back at about the 41. It's going to be a loss of 2 or 3.
Yeah, McLean was able to fall on top of it. The Knights were trying to run an option to the right. Good hit by the Hornets along the line of scrimmage that forced the ball to pop loose, and Seton Catholic's McLean was there to find the ball and pop on it.
There's the problem with the spread. I mean, Plattsburgh doesn't have to really honor it because they're not throwing out of it. Every time most of the time, Bridgman's running himself with the football.
Sometimes for his life.
Yes, but they don't really have to honor anybody that's split wide. I mean, obviously they have to have somebody out there, but they don't have to play for a pass because they're just not throwing it. One of these times, or not one, they're going to throw it a couple times to make them think they might throw the football. They get under center on third down and about a dozen. Give the ball to McLean. He comes to the left, turns it back inside, 45, out to about the 49, about a 5 or 6 yard pickup for McLean.
Well, he made one defender miss for PHS, a good cut back into the middle of the field, moving it just shy of the midfield stripe. They'll mark it at the 49. It's 4th down and 5 for Seton.
About a punting situation.
That was bad.
Bridgman to kick it away again. He'll be standing around his 37-yard line. Connors going back. Bucci going back. Bridgman waits, steps a little bit high, but he gets it away. Bucci takes the 27. He's to the 30, 35, turns it up 40, 45, 50.
See ya.
Good night. Put it in the end zone. 73-yard touchdown return with the punt. I don't see any hankies. Well, we found out who he was.
Yes. Well, Trey Bucci raced to the far sideline, and once he turned the corner, nobody got a hand on him. He was just able to run up the sideline along the PHS side of the field, and he was just able to outrun the punt coverage from Seton Catholic.
73-yard touchdown return with the punt by Bucci. Increases it to 26-0. Point after attempt pending. The kick is up. The kick is good. Is that Lazur? Did they change kickers?
No, that's
Kicker, wasn't it?
Kevin Stallsmith.
Stallsmith, all right, with a point after attempt.
He made that look easy.
Yeah.
That was convincingly good.
Absolutely.
Although he was also warming up right next to Lazur right before the football game, and they were both hitting him pretty good from about 35 out.
So they increase the lead now to 27-0 with under a minute remaining in the third quarter. Hornets getting ready to kick off. McLean will be one of the deep men. Bridgman has been one of the deep men, and he is headed out that direction now. Paul Smith, after kicking the point after, is going to kick off. now 27-0 Plattsburgh. They had a 20-0 lead at the half. They've tacked on another 7 here late in the third. Bridgman and McLean await the kick from Saul Smith. There goes the boot. Nice high kick. McLean takes it at about the 14. He's to the 20, 25. He's to about the 30, and that's about as far as he's going to go.
Garrett McLean made a couple of guys miss and then tried to get to a hole in the middle of the field. Ended up running into one of his own players, and that allowed the Hornets to eventually corral him and wrap him up. I think we'll see the Hornets now make some more substitutions defensively as well as offensively as we approach the fourth quarter. Just 43 seconds remaining in this third quarter.
And the Knights will start at about their 31-yard line. Going right to left here in the third, which is closing on another play or two.
Hornets only have 9 players on the field right now. This is being very kind to Seton's offense. They only have 9 guys. And they're not going to use a timeout.
We'll play it with just 9. And a running play will come out to 32, 33-yard line. That might have been Clara on the carry that time. That is the end of the third. We have finished 3. Plattsburgh leads at 27-0. High school.
This is sporty of the Hornet defense.
Well, it'll be even more sporting if they don't come out with 11 now. Change of possession.
Yeah, right. Of course, that was the last play of the quarter, but the Hornets hadn't realized it yet, and they had 10 players that were in the huddle. But then during the timeout, they took another count and figured out that they were still a player short. Now I believe they've got all 11 out there.
Looks like they may have a full complement now as we move into the fourth quarter.
Well, you certainly have to respect the effort, Seton Catholic, especially some of these players that are like McLean and Bridgman playing on both sides of the football. And both of those two guys in particular have taken a beating tonight, particularly offensively. But on defense, they've been in on a lot of the stops for Seton as well.
Obviously, when you get 20 players, a lot of guys will be playing both sides of the football. But
although you look down here, a number of players that have not played at all in the game tonight.
No, you're right. You're right. First down from the second down from their 33. They pitch it back to McLean. Turns the corner at the 35. Takes it out to about the 37. Maybe get 3 or 4 on the play.
Running wide against the to the left side of the offense. Eventually pushed out of bounds, and there's an official's timeout. Player down on the far sideline, one of the Knights down.
It'll be about a third down and 4.
That was McLean. He's to his feet and walking back towards the near sideline.
He's going to have to come out of the ball game now. As Brooks is going to come into the ball game for Seton, replacing McLean. Under his own power, walks to the near sidelines. Bring up a third down and about 5 for Seton. Looks like he's been 0 for 2 throwing the football tonight.
Looks like he was cramping. Coach Munn will stretch him out, get him a drink of water.
Go again, twins to each side. Out of a spread. Wide side right. Bridgman. Run right away. Across the 35. He's out to the 40. Trying to get across the 40. He's taken down right about the 40-yard line, which is going to be about a yard short, it appears, in the first down. He needed 5. We got a little more than 4.
Well, we'll see where they eventually set the... here, they're about a football short.
Yeah, he's short.
Well, they're going to measure.
Well, if they're going to measure, the field's crooked.
I think he's about a foot and a half short.
I was going to say he's a foot to 2 feet short. So they'll bring the chains in across the field. he is, man, it's not a foot, half a foot. So the field is a little crooked.
Shocking.
A shocking development. Have to go undercover to develop this story further.
That's the beauty of the synthetic turf. Once it's painted once, it's you don't paint it again. Of course, you have to paint this on a regular basis.
True.
It's not always easy to walk that straight line.
4th and a foot, they will go. I would goose and go. Don't even let Plattsburgh get down in their stance. Just because they do. They go almost immediately. He's got the first down. Bridgman gets a couple. First down for Seton. 3rd first down of the night.
About 8 players fell on top of him at the end of the run. Good call by Coach Drake. Get to the line of scrimmage. You just go with it.
Don't give him even time to dig in defensively.
Yeah, and they weren't.
First down out to the 44. 4th quarter, 27-0. Game no longer in doubt. Are we close to fireworks? We'll be able
10
to
minutes. Boy, in years past, we never have.
No?
No, I don't think so.
I bet we do. I'm betting on seeing some of them tonight.
I think we might hear them, but I don't know.
Okay.
We might have to lean forward to make that happen.
Twins to each side. Clark with a handoff, and he gets a couple across the 45.
It's interesting that they decided to have them still at 9:30. I know that's a traditional time in the summer, but it's been dark now for a while, and
it gets dark
like my kids like fireworks, but 9:30 is just a little too late for my little guys to go.
It's late for me.
That's right. Yeah, whenever you call and leave me a message, there's always a strict warning in that message. Do not call. That's right.
It's usually 9:30, somewhere in there when I go to bed. If there's something I'm watching that I may string out till 9:30. On a weekend like this, I may stay up till 11 or something.
Whoa, you're living dangerous.
2nd down and 8. Give to McLean. He got wrapped up in the backfield and thrown for a sizable loss of about 5.
Yeah, he was not in a hurry to take that because he saw the freight train that was coming. It was almost like, I don't want that. You see what's coming at us?
Give it to me.
You hang on to it.
Don't give it to me.
Here's a gift. Take the football. No, really you shouldn't.
I'll pass on this one. Let somebody else try it.
Yeah. You sure about it? Why don't you just hang on to it this time?
3rd down and 13 for the Knights. 27-0 Plattsburgh. Clock running. 8:25 in the game.
Here come 5 white jerseys ready to crash you down to the ground.
It's like a team picture for Plattsburgh. Twins to each side. Bridgman out of the shotgun with Matt Clare as a protector. But they've run every time out of this. So he's going to throw it. Yeah, he's going to almost throw it to you. He threw that one out of bounds.
Again, the Hornets showing strength as the Knights have a couple of guys back in protection, and they just bowl over those blockers, and they get good pressure on Bridgman, who's scrambling for his life and just heaves it out of bounds.
Okay, so now you know why they have it thrown out of that formation. 4th down and 13. Punting situation for Bridgman. Bucci, who returned 173 for a touchdown, is drifting back to around his 30. We got Connors up in front of him, and I'm not sure who's on the far side. There's the snap. There's the kick. Not a bad kick. Bucci takes it at the 33. Here he comes to the near side, and is taken down at the 38-yard line. And Baker really held his ground well for Seton.
Yeah.
Make the stop.
Yeah, good contain. Sometimes you try to over-pursue and don't take care of your lane on the outside, but as Bucci started to his right, first of all, after he received the punt, he made a real good play to make the lead defender down the field in coverage for Seton miss. Got a block, and then decided to come back to the near sideline, and that's where you have to have that contain and discipline, and the Knights were doing a good job in position on the near side.
First down, Hornets from their 38. Bucci will now be the quarterback. And we have a whistle. We have a timeout, Seton. Timeout for Seton. We have 7:17 left in the fourth. 27-0 Plattsburgh. High school football continues in hometown radio. WIRY, WIRY.com in 30 seconds. All right, back at Penfield Park, 27-0 Plattsburgh. 7:17 remaining. Tomorrow afternoon, out at the Apple Bowl, dragging Jimmy Amarillo tomorrow.
He'll be full of one-liners for that game tomorrow.
Race tomorrow?
Start at 2.
Oh, so you'll be listening to the game probably most of the time.
Well, no.
No?
No.
Okay. First down from their 38. Bucci, the quarterback. Is that Steiger? I think it was.
I think it was too.
Why is he even in the game?
I'm not sure. It was.
1 or 2.
Steiger was on the carry. Boy, I almost thought I heard Amanda Dagley there.
Okay, it wasn't just me then. I thought a voice too. I'm hearing voices.
Oh boy. You can tell when that starts to happen. With the score the way it is, late in the fourth quarter, one-sided game, we start hearing voices.
There's no reason for Steigers to be in the ball game.
Yes, especially because he's been dealing with a tender ankle.
He's come out twice when he's been injured, and you're going to put him back in there in a 27-0 game halfway through the fourth quarter. They pitch it to him, and he'll break it to the outside, across the 40, to the 50, into Seton territory, 45, 40, coming by another tackler, finally going to get run out of bounds around the 8-yard line. So he goes about 50-plus yards, 52 yards.
Yeah, that ankle's clearly bothering him.
Didn't look too bad. If he had a good ankle, he probably would have gone all the way.
Oh, jeez. That's right. If the leg wasn't bothering, the ankle was really bothering him, he would have been... Oh, there's an illegal blitz coming back. Illegal block against PHS.
Oh. Well, they had one of those before, too. Negated a touchdown. This one didn't negate a touchdown, but... So another 15-yarder on PHS is going to give him 60 yards in penalties.
And the flag was back around the 30, it looks like.
I never saw the flag.
So they'll still end up with a first down after they march off the penalty from the infraction spot. They'll move it down to the 41 of Seton.
So it would be about a 20-yard gain instead. So first down for Plattsburgh at the 42 of Seton. Smith comes wide left, although you don't expect them to be throwing the football here. And they bring it back to Bushy. Bushy for about 3 or 4.
You know, these numbers would be good if they just had a black highlight around the outside of the orange.
Yeah, you're right.
A thin little black.
That would do it. They would bring them out more. It's because it is tough to see them. We're not playing under professional lights here, and it's just difficult sometimes to see these numbers. The worst one, those are the Seton white jerseys. Those things, it's almost impossible to read those. Second down and 8. Bang in the middle. I'm not sure.
I'm still not sure.
I'm still not sure.
A lot of times when they have run those plays earlier in the game.
So close to the line, too, you can't really tell who it was.
Earlier in the game, it was Hung who would get that type of carry, but it might have been Pachalski, who also lines up in that spot.
Yeah, let's give him the ball. That seems fair.
I think that's who it was, because he's right behind the quarterback, and that's the guy who got the ball in the last carry.
It's a third down and 2. And they give to... I'm still not sure who they gave it to. I think they've got some substitution.
Yes.
First down.
It is going to be a first down run. A couple yards on the play. Is that a 2, a 9? What is that?
Perhaps a 3?
Okay.
Tom Sorrell?
I don't know.
I think that's what it was. I think it's a 3. We'll start bringing binoculars to some of these games.
And another quick hitter. I'll bring the ball to about the 30, gain of maybe a yard on the play. And when Plattsburgh runs quick hitters, they're quick because everybody's so close. The backs are only maybe 2 feet behind the lineman.
That was Pachalski.
Second down at 8 at the Seton 29. Clock running, 3:20 remaining. 27-0 Plattsburgh. Bushi quarterback.
Oh, look out.
Wide open on the left side, turning it back inside and lunging it down to about the 8-yard line. It's Connors.
That's Connors, yep.
Connors with about a 20-yard run.
Cut that back into the middle of the field. And he stayed along the outside running up the sideline. I think he might have had even more room.
Another first down for PHS. Ball at the 11-yard line of Seton. 2:45 remaining in the ball game. Clock running. Hornets come up over the football. Wide out comes to the left side. Bucci is up under center. And Bucci gives it to Kowalski, I believe. He steps away from one, but is dragged down around the 7 or 8-yard line.
Brings it down inside the 10. Hornets will look at a second down and a long 6. Clock just about to hit the 2-minute mark.
Should hear the boomer soon.
This has been a fast-moving fourth quarter. This drive in particular for the Hornets has really kept the clock rolling.
Ball at about the 9, second down. Clock is running. Hornets are in no hurry here with the clock running with 1:45 remaining. They lead 27-0. Bucci brings them up at the 9-yard line. Gets under center. And some movement up front. Seton came across. Were they drawn off or did they come across on their own? It is against Seton. An encroachment call on the Knights. Only the second penalty on Seton tonight.
It'll be second down for PHS. The penalty will take the ball down inside the 5. Just inside the 5.
Bad news is it stopped the clock.
It's going again now.
You see him reaching to turn that off again, break his thumb. Running play with Sorrell, and he'll take it down to the close to the goal line. Not sure that he is it. Touchdown for PHS.
Touchdown.
Make it 33-0.
I think it was Pachalski.
Was it Pachowski?
Yep. And a Knight defender is still on the ground, so we'll have an official's timeout.
So increase it to 33-0. That was a 62-yard drive for PHS. So the Hornets next week will travel to Governor while Seton hits the road to Saranac Lake, both games on Saturday afternoon.
That's a tough one-day trip. That has to be about the furthest trip you can make now in the Northern Football Conference. Now that there's no Indian River.
Did you tell me this is the only Seton game we have all season?
It is. Yeah, here's our schedule.
I don't have it in front of
Our
me.
broadcast schedule, and this is the only time that we'll have Seton. We have PHS one more time. That's not until October the 16th at Peru. Yep. That's the only time that we have a night
year,
ball
it seemed
game.
like we had them about 5 times.
Yeah, we did.
We had a lot of Seton games.
Yep.
It just depends how the schedule falls most of the time.
And going back to that other point, it's difficult, that trip to Governor. You know, you leave early in the morning Saturday. You're on the bus. It's a pretty good hike out there. You're looking at, about a 2-hour, 15-minute ride
Oh, yeah.
on a bus, perhaps even longer, as you head out along Route 11.
That may be The loudest applause we've heard tonight for Seton. All right, we are pending the point after attempt. It is up to 33-0 now. Stahl-Smith will try the extra point. He made the last one. His only attempt. So Stahl-Smith is ready.
If he kicks it like he did in warm-ups, this could end up on Boynton Avenue.
Any car in the neighborhood should be careful. There's the kick. It is up, and it is good.
Oh, he took it easy.
At the point. He took it easy on him that time. So make it 34-0 on Stahl-Smith point after attempt. The Hornets about to go to 1-1 on the campaign. The Knights going to go to 0-2. And have to go to Saranac Lake next week. Doesn't make things any easier by any stretch. But as you said earlier, you got to give these kids credit for Seton because they're going to get pounded almost every game. I mean, it's a foregone conclusion. They're not going to be in many games.
Let's see. Week 3 at Saranac Lake. Week 4 for the Knights, home against Ausable Valley. Ausable Valley is an improved team. Week number 5, Seton Catholic home against Ticonderoga. Ticonderoga got clobbered last week.
Yep.
And week number 6, Seton Catholic is playing at Mariah.
Oh, yeah.
That's always fun. Week 7, Seton Catholic playing at St. Lawrence.
Oh,
that could be.
There's one.
Could be interesting. And then in week 8, home against Tupper.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of games that they can be in. So the Hornets getting set to kick off with 1:08 remaining in the game. 34-0 lead. $20 in the first half, another 14 here in the second.
We'll see how the Hornets do on the road at Governor. That'll tell us something about Peru as well. You'll learn a lot tomorrow when you go and see them, but Peru lost to Governor last week 9-0.
Plattsburgh was short a man on the kickoff team, but they get him on now. And the kickoff nice and high, and taken by McLean about the 25. He's to the 30, he's to the 35, 40, down to the 44-yard line.
Almost snuck through a seam.
Another step or so, he might have been gone. 56.8 seconds remaining, couple of snaps. That is if they don't start throwing the pigskin. Well, you apparently are right, because if the fireworks have started, and they were supposed to have, I haven't seen any.
This is, it's not the first time that we've had a game here at Bailey Avenue when the fireworks have...
Have you heard them?
Yeah, I just heard one.
I haven't heard anything.
But as I recall previously, we couldn't see them before.
Okay. I remember hearing them. I guess I thought we could see them too. All right, Knights take the ball back at their 44-yard line. Bridgman pitches back to McLean. McLean looked like he wanted to throw it. Now he takes off, and he's going to get thrown for a loss back at the 34-yard line. Loss of about 10.
That was a halfback option. He just didn't have time to look down the field and throw it. And then he got treated rudely by Brad Lazur on the tackle. Could be the final play of the game.
It's a loss of about 10. Yeah, you're right. That is going to be the final play of the game. So our final from Penfield Park tonight. Final score, Plattsburgh in the win column as the Hornets win it by a score of 27-0. High school football continues on Hometown Radio, WIRY, WIRY.com in 30 seconds.
That's going to wrap up our coverage of high school football on Hometown Cable and Plattsburgh.com. Final score from Melissa Penfield Park. The Plattsburgh High School Hornets defeat the Seton Catholic Knights by a score of 34-0. We want to thank Ducky Drake and Rob Knowles from Hometown Radio, WIRY, for allowing us to use their call of the game. We'll have more high school football for you coming up here on Hometown Cable as well as Plattsburgh.com as the 2010 season progresses. Final score once again, Plattsburgh 34, Seton nothing. For everyone at Hometown Cable